When it comes to the inbound versus outbound question, I tend to think that there's no other way if you're internationalizing than doing outbound first in a conscious way, where you're explicitly looking for nuggets of insight into how you're perceived. So for example, if I do inbound, but I've never looked at the eyes of my buyer, and I've sort of drilled 2 levels deeper into what they're thinking when they're listening to my presentation, then I'm going to miss the barriers, the friction. I'm going to miss the questions that pop in their head, and I won't be able to explain what I do correctly because it'll require an additional meeting for someone to physically explain and answer that question for the executive. So I believe that both for hardware and for software, that outbound always needs to come first. And it always needs to be done in a way where you are explicitly gathering those obstacles in the heads of your buyer, and then you're baking them into your inbound process. So, I mean, inbound historically worked because the market wasn't as competitive. And both from a product point of view and also from an inbound technique point of view, but that's over. Yeah, I'm a big believer that inbound is massively the way to be, but you've got to go through the pain first of a very focused discovery process where you understand not just how to present your product, but you understand how to explain to the executive 3 things. I mean, why is what you're doing important to them? Because some executives don't know, especially the business guys. Answering the question why, 50% of the business executives need that. Answering the question what, like what the heck is this thing? What's the terminology? What's the way of thinking? What's the framework? That's another 30% need to know what is it. Now, once you've got those 80% tackled, there's 20% or 10% out there that know how to do it. They're like, they know why and what, and they're trying to figure out how. But those are the 3 things that need to be really clear. And until you've done outbound to discover the nuances of those things, you can't do inbound really well. That's how I see it. But inbound in the end is the goal, because it's massively successful if you've got the whole thing dialed in.